I'm Aveline and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are building a bigger house. I want to say this is built on a 40 by 30. It is built in Willow Creek, but I want to say that it could possibly fit really well into Brindleton Bay as well because it does have a slight farmhouse vibe to it. I don't think it's a full-on farmhouse, but it definitely does have some sort of farmhouse vibe to it. So hopefully that's making some sort of sense because I've been using both wood panels for the exterior, but I've also been using the rock or one of the bricks that came with Discover University actually. So it's not very common for farmhouses to have brick exterior, at least not in my experience or from what I've gathered from looking at pictures online, because I've actually not seen a farmhouse in real life ever, so there is that. But I think they're commonly made out of wood, or at least that's what I've seen. So brick exterior is a little bit atypical for farmhouses, but there's definitely something about the shape of this house that reminds me of a farmhouse. So yeah, but that is what we're doing. It also has a small part on the right side of the build that looks like a renovated extension, and I decided to put the dining room in there like I usually do with these sort of areas because they have nice open windows and you can see all the surroundings and stuff. You can look into the backyard, and if you place this house in the forest as well, that'll be really nice too because that means you can sit in the dining room and just look at the forest and stuff. So really relaxing and nice views and all that stuff. But yeah, that is what we're doing today. I was trying to go for a foster home kind of theme for this house. So it does have 3 bedrooms, but one of the bedrooms is for the parents, so the foster parents, and then both of the other bedrooms actually have room for 2 teens. So they do have to share bedrooms, but I hope that's okay. I kind of imagine them fostering 2 pairs of teen twins. Teen twins is really difficult to say for me. For some reason, I want to combine the 2 words and just say tween. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, but they have room for 4 teens total, but they do have to share rooms. So if you don't like that for gameplay purposes, you can just delete the beds in, delete 1 bed in each room. And actually, if you want to redecorate the whole place, you can do that too. I'm completely okay with that. But if you just want 1 bedroom for 1 teen and the other bedroom also to be for 1 teen, you can just remove the other bed in the bedroom and then, I don't know, put in some bookcases or some hobby items, maybe turn one of the areas into a painting area or something. So you got plenty of opportunities. Those rooms are pretty big, by the way, so like I said, plenty of opportunities to redecorate if you want to, but this is just kind of what I went with. So this was supposed to go up yesterday, or it was supposed to have gone up yesterday, but I I was invited to eat dinner at my dad's, and I haven't seen him for a while. We've not done anything regarding Christmas or anything together, so I decided to go to my dad's with my mom and also my brother. So we weren't home, or I wasn't home until 11 or so it got pretty late. We were playing Settlers and we were eating a lot. We had sticky toffee pudding for dinner, or not for dinner. That would have been really strange for dessert. So I was home pretty late and I didn't have time to finish the video before I left because it is quite a long video in case you hadn't noticed. Right now, before I've added the screenshots, it's 31 minutes or 30 and a half minutes, so it is a bit of a longer speed build. It's also the last speed build of this year, by the way, because tomorrow I have something else going up on the channel, and then on New Year's I'll be doing some kind of lookbook, I think, just because I don't really know if anybody's gonna watch it because you might be out celebrating New Year's, but I just want to do this lookbook, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, that means it's the last speed build of this year. It's actually the last speed build of this decade, which is very strange what happened with time. But I'm also super ready for next year, to be honest. This year has been a little bit, I want to say rocky. It's been both good, but it's also been really terrible. So I don't really want to get into that in this video, but I don't know, it's been a really, really strange year. I'm so ready for it to just be over and start new, even though it doesn't work like that, but I'm so ready for 2020. No joke, I just need 2019 to just go away and not be seen again because it's been very difficult and I don't really, the last half of the year especially, the first half was okay, but then the last year has just been blah. So I want a new year, I want a fresh start, even though it doesn't work like that, but still I'm just gonna pretend in my head that it doesn't work like that. So, but yeah, I'm super ready to make more videos for you guys. I'm ready to add more stuff to the channel, so it may be a little bit more varied. So not just speed builds, don't worry, the channel will still be mainly speed builds because I love building, but I still want to do more stuff. I want to try and also record other videos and edit other videos, so I'm really excited for that, and I hope you guys are excited about it too. But yeah, anyways, enough talk about the new year. I'll probably talk about that in another video at some point. So for the exterior, I didn't really know what color scheme to go for, honestly, because I thought I was going to turn this house blue for some reason. I thought that it was going to be blue, but then I didn't like the blue with the gray roofing, but I also didn't want to turn the roofing black because I always go for black roofing. So I wanted to go for a different color scheme that I usually go for. So I decided to actually use one of the base game wallpapers, this one. Unfortunately, the green one, the green color, does not come without those weird corner columns that are kind of painted onto the wallpaper. I don't like those. I like to, if I want to add corner accents or columns, I'll add columns. Like, I don't need the columns to be, or the corners, whatever. I don't need them to be on the wallpaper. But for some reason, the version that comes without those corners, the highlighted corners, it doesn't come in green, and I don't really know why. I think the green color is also fairly new. I think it was added around Strangeville, so that's about February last year, or this year, 2019. Wow. I'm already in 2020 mode. I don't really, whatever. So I think it was added around that time. So considering it's a base game wallpaper, it's new-ish, but I don't know why they didn't add it to the other wallpaper, so the version without the corners. I wish they'd kind of gone back and fixed that, but they haven't so far, and I don't use CC. So I just ignore the corners. I know they're super annoying, but I really like that green. Like, honestly, I love that green. I've used it a couple of times before. I remember using it on Johnny Sest's new trailer that I did earlier in the year. So it's a very nice kind of green. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's not too muted. It's a very nice green. So I want to use it more, but I just need it in the version without the corners. Do you get what I mean? Super long rant about that, completely useless, but anyways. And then of course we're just adding some outdoors lighting because I found lately that I like to go into night mode when I'm building. By the way, if you don't know how to do that, you can just press, is it L on your keyboard a couple of times and you go into night mode. It's very handy if you want to place like outdoors lighting, for example, or you want to see what the house looks like at night after you've decorated it. It looks very cute in my opinion, by the way, because you know that you've placed lamps while building, hopefully, otherwise you've been decorating in the dark. Don't do that, that's awful. Just don't do that. So once you're done decorating and you go outside again and then you turn you turn on night mode and you see all the light like streaming out of the windows, it's really nice, and it's homey and cozy and I like it. So I do that quite often, but I also like just going into night mode to place down outdoors lighting so I know exactly what's lit up at night and stuff. So I was just doing that before. And then of course we're doing some landscaping. I did decide to keep the left side of the front yard fairly empty, I want to say. I did put a swing later on and a couple of bicycles, but other than that there's a tree and that's about it. But over here on the right side, I actually end up putting in a pond, and then there's a tree in the middle of the pond. And I know that's not the most realistic thing in the world, but it looked cute, so I had to do it. I just remembered, by the way, I haven't done my own shell build shell challenge yet. Like the first one that I put up on the channel, I haven't done that yet. Trust me when I say December has been super busy. There's been some other stuff going on with the family as well. There's been a lot. Plus I had to plan most of our Christmas Eve as well because we celebrated it here in Aarhus, which is where I live. And my mom works in Norway and my sister lives in Copenhagen. So I've been kind of handling everything. So I just haven't had the time to actually other than, because I know that video is going to take a lot of time because I'm planning to do a Q&A with it, and I also want my version, my decorated version of the shell to be really good. So I just want to sit down and have the time to do it and like properly decorate everything so it turns out good. And I want to do face cam with the Q&A, and I just want it to be a good video. So I'm just taking my time. Plus I have lots of plans, and it's just sometimes it's a bit of a struggle to find time to execute all those plans, but I'm working on it. And by the way, if you still have questions that you want me to answer in the Q&A, there is still a post on the community tab where you can leave those questions, and I'll pick the most asked ones, or maybe I'll have time to answer everything. I don't know yet. We'll see. It depends on how long the video is, obviously, but I'm guessing it'll turn out to be another like 30-minute voiceover or something. So if you got questions, please leave them over on the community tab, and I will try my best to answer every single one of them. I know that when it comes to Q&As, I tend to spend too much time on one question, but I rant a lot, so that's just how it works. Anyways, so I do want to say one thing about the landscaping, the flower choices or the color scheme, whatever. I did use a couple of yellow flowers. I used the irises, I think they're called, from the Romantic Garden stuff pack, because the flower boxes on the house are yellow. I decided to use the flower boxes that came with Discover University, I think. And then I chose a swatch that had brown flower boxes with yellow flowers. So I kind of had to tie them in with the landscaping around the house, but I also didn't want to go full on out with yellow flowers because I thought that would look weird with a greenhouse for some reason. I don't like those two colors together too often, so I just decided to tone it down a little bit. There's a couple of pink flowers in there, a lot of white flowers, and then just a couple of yellow flowers too, but it's like very small yellow flowers. So I don't know, for those of you who are interested in landscaping, I hope that helped a little bit. The floor plan in this house is pretty weird, not gonna lie. We do have a lot of hallway space here in the middle, but I also, when it comes to bigger houses, I also don't like to place rooms in the middle of the house because that means the room won't have any windows, and I don't know if it's because I'm Scandinavian, but the thought of not having windows in a room is kind of terrifying to me. I don't like it. It's not that it's terrifying to me. I'm not scared of there not being any windows. I just like light. I like natural light in my home. So the same counts for my Sims homes. So I don't put houses, or not houses. I don't put houses in the middle of my houses either, but I don't put rooms in the middle of my houses. So I usually just turn them into hallway space, or I don't know, closet space, or maybe toilets, bathrooms, you know, stuff like that. So for this house, we're just sticking to hallway. So they do have a laundry room. It's very small. The door to the laundry room is right next to one of the doors to the backyard. They actually have 3 doors to the backyard. I went a little bit extra, I don't know, but they have one to the back patio. They also have one that is in the kitchen, actually, and then there's another back door in the dining room, just because it's the renovated part of the house, so I figured it would be fine to add an extra door there. I don't really know why they would walk through the dining room to get to the backyard, but they have the opportunity to. You know, Sims are kind of weird when it comes to rooting sometimes, so maybe they'll use that door. I don't really know. So we're starting out with the kitchen as always. Pretty much always start out with the kitchen when I'm decorating. I don't know what it is. It's just, someone commented at some point that it's because it's the heart of the home, which, I mean, could be why, but I don't really necessarily see the kitchen as the heart of the home because my family just does not work like that. But it makes sense to me, and it feels natural to start out with the kitchen for some reason, so I usually do that. There are exceptions though, like sometimes I've started out with the dining room, sometimes the living room, never the bedrooms for some reason, but usually I start out with a kitchen, so no exception today. We are starting out with a kitchen. They have a fairly big kitchen, to be honest. Like, it's a pretty big room. I don't know if it's been slightly renovated or what's going on. Also, by the way, as for the style of the interior, I did not really stick to one specific style. I was trying to go for lighter wood tones just because I felt like it fit the exterior of the house a bit better, but it's not like specifically country-esque. It's not specifically modern or contemporary or traditional or anything. It's like a mixture of different styles, to be honest. I just really didn't feel like sticking to one style in this house. I don't really know why, but maybe the family in the house are kind of a bit like, we'll just do whatever we feel like fits this room, sorta. So it's not a specific style throughout the house, but we are trying to go for a specific kind of color scheme at least. So basically muted colors and lighter wood tones. I've been using those colors quite a lot lately, so like a muted blue with some lighter wood tones or some white woods even. I used to do a lot of like probably brown interiors, so very rustic, very brown interiors basically, but I wanted to get better at using white woods and also light wood tones. So I've been using those quite a lot lately, but I think it's time that I go full on rustic once again at some point soon. Maybe not in my own shell, but again, I don't really know, to be honest. We'll see. I have no idea what to do with my own shell. I've not thought about it yet, and it's probably gonna suck, to be honest, but we'll see. But I definitely need to do some brown interiors sometime soon. Some brown and very, very rustic interiors sometime soon. I'm also really in the mood to build contemporary houses because I feel like I haven't done a lot of those lately. So you may see something like that up on the channel at some point very soon. And also, for those of you asking for a save file, I am doing my best. It's just I don't have a lot of households in the save file because I haven't had the time to actually sit down and make sims for it. So I'm struggling a little bit with that, but I'm planning on releasing the not completely finished version tomorrow and then continue to work on it because I do know that we are going to get new packs at some point. They'll probably come with new worlds, and if I don't release the save file at some point soon, I'll just continue to get new worlds and it's going to take longer and longer to finish it. So I'm planning on releasing it tomorrow. If everything goes well, I don't run into any technical issues, and I pull myself together and actually record the video. So if you're interested in the save file, come back tomorrow. And yeah, it'll be like a little bit of a belated Christmas gift or something. I don't know. It's a weird Christmas gift, but honestly, I don't know what else to give you guys. So I don't really know. Anyways, this is the living room. Have we already decorated the dining room? I think I looked away for like a second and it was already done. I don't know what happened with that, but we decorated the dining room. It was fairly empty anyways because there were a lot of windows. I don't like to put stuff in front of windows. Underneath windows is fine, but not in front of windows. And you'll see me struggling, or I already placed the TV, but I was struggling a little bit figuring out where to put the TV because the placement of the windows in this room is just weird, and I wanted to utilize all the space in this room, so I didn't just want the couches to be in the middle of the room and then suddenly I'd have a lot of wasted space behind the couches, because you can't really place stuff too close together in The Sims because rooting problems again. So I was just figuring out what to do with the TV because this house definitely needed a TV, but they just ended up with this very small one because otherwise if I used one of the other ones, it wouldn't have fit onto the table that I'm using, and if I sized this one up, it would have covered the window too, so I don't like to do that. I don't like to cover up my windows with TVs. So this is what I have, this is what I gave them. I do know that the TV is a little bit small considering the size of this living room, but it's what I could do without annoying myself, so I just went with it. And also, I am so mad at myself for choosing this room to be the living room because of the placement of the windows, but I also did try, I don't know if I cut it out of the video, but I did try to place the windows in another way, but it didn't look right from the outside, so they had to stay like that. And I don't know, sometimes the houses that you build just don't work very well with the interior. You end up being annoyed by the shape of the house or something else. This is one of those cases. I'm probably putting way too much thought into this and you guys probably don't care, but it annoys me, so it's also my creation, so I'm okay with being annoyed by it. It's fine. I'm annoyed with a surprising amount of my builds, by the way, just so you know, like, nothing is ever perfect, and it annoys me. So, moving on to the upstairs. This is the parents' bedroom, and again, the style is a little bit different. We are using the Seasons furniture in here, so I did use a lot of Seasons furniture in both the dining room and also the living room. It's just the kitchen is a little bit different, and also both of the teen rooms will be a little bit different too. But maybe the style overall is just that I'm using a lot of stuff from Seasons. I don't really know. I did really want those side tables to be white just so it went well with the rest of the house, but the this bed swatch goes really well, like perfect. It's the perfect blue that I want it. It's just that the headboard of the bed is dark gray, I think it is. It's not full on black. It's like a weird dark gray kind of. So the bedside tables had to match the headboard, and that's why this room is a little bit darker compared to the rest of the house, at least when it comes to the bed and the bedside tables. I did decide to try and tone down or brighten up the room, so actually the opposite of toning down. Anyways, I tried to brighten up the room by going for a light gray dresser instead of a dark gray one, which would have gone well with the bedside tables, but it would have made the room darker. And I also felt like a white dresser would be too much of a contrast to the bedside tables, so I went for the light gray one instead. So I think their room is a little bit darker, but I did try to like brighten it up just a little bit. And now we are working on the first one of the teen bedrooms. I don't know the gender of the teens, by the way. I didn't think about that when I was decorating. The same counts for the parents. I usually don't, unless I'm doing like a single mom or a single dad or teen dad or whatever. I don't usually think too much about the gender of the parents because I want it to be up for interpretation to you guys, so it could suit any sort of gameplay, you know? So the same counts for these teen rooms today. I really tried to not like think about genders or anything like that. So it could be a girl and a boy living in here. It could be two boys. It could also be two girls. It's completely up to you guys and your families what you play with. Also, let me know if you want this house to be in the save file. Although I think that the house I have on this lot I'm pretty happy with, and I also have an idea of the family living in that house, so I'm not really sure that I'm actually up for changing them. But if you download the save file and you want this house to be in the save file, you can just swap out the houses. That's completely fine. They're all on the gallery anyways, so it's basically up to you guys. But I don't know why I just asked when I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen anyways. But moving on. So I did try to fit in a desk for both of the Sims, or both of the teens living in, or teens or Sims too. Anyways, both of the teens living in this bedroom, but I just couldn't really. It looked weird. You saw it just before. It wasn't looking right. I didn't want to go for one of the base game tables or one of the dining tables so that they could sit next to each other, because I feel like that doesn't look super realistic. I wanted them to have proper desks, so they do have to share the laptop, but hopefully that's okay with the Sims. Hopefully they won't be offended by that. And they have quite a lot of cosmetics over on this little inside table / side table, whatever you want to call that. Bedside table even, maybe? I don't really know. That I put under the mirror, so did clutter up the room quite a lot. But honestly, I feel like cluttering by now is basically a habit. If a room doesn't have any clutter in it, I feel like it looks unfinished. Like, there's just something missing. It looks too empty. So by now it's basically just habit, cluttering up places. I don't really know. Except for my real life home. This home is not cluttered at all. Maybe my desk a little bit. I have a couple of notebooks, but other than that, I like to keep everything a little bit tidy. So don't know what that's about, but moving on to the second one of the bedrooms. So this is for another pair of teens, and this room is a little bit bigger, so I did have enough room to actually fit in some hobby items. So they have both a keyboard and also a guitar. It's not because I'm favorizing the Sims in this bedroom, it's just because it's slightly bigger. So the Sims living in this bedroom are definitely into both pink things like the Freezer Bunny, but they're also into music. The other Sim did have one of the music posters that came with, or at least I think it's a music poster because it looks like a Pink Floyd poster, but it could be anything, to be honest. It looks like a Pink Floyd poster though. Like, look at it. It reminds me of, actually I don't remember what album it is right now, but I've been listening to it quite a lot. I listened to it quite a lot when I was a kid because my dad had an LP player, or whatever that's called. In English, I don't really know. Anyways, but you could listen. He had a lot of LPs, so those big, not CDs, but the bigger ones. And he had a record player. Is that what it's called? It's called a record player. nailed it. Anyways, so I often sat in his chair over in one of the corners of the living room and just listened to either Pink Floyd, Michael Jackson, or Stevie Wonder, and one of the CDs he had was that one by Pink Floyd. So I just feel like I recognize the album cover, but it's not completely the same. But that's why I associate that poster with Pink Floyd. So I see it as a music poster. It came with Discover University, and it comes in a lot of different swatches, but one of them is that one. So yeah, they have that, and that's why I think they're kind of into music, or at least one of the Sims. They also had a desk with a laptop on it that they'll also have to share, and then of course dressers and cosmetics and a mirror and all the other stuff that they need. So yeah, done with the interior. We're moving on to the rest of the exterior. To be honest, I didn't really know what to do with this backyard. There was a lot of back doors to take into consideration when doing routing or pathways or whatever, so that was a little bit of a struggle, but I think I figured it out by the end. Honestly, I feel like every single time I've done a backyard and done a voiceover for the speed build as well, I've always said I didn't really know what to do with this backyard, or I was struggling really badly with this backyard, but that's because I always am. Whenever I sit down and I have to do a backyard, I don't really know what to do. I just start doing something and then it turns into something. So I'm always struggling a little bit with the backyards. It's just a lot of empty space. You don't really know what to do with it, and you're sitting there staring at it for, I don't know, a half an hour. You still don't know what to do with it, and then you just gotta do stuff, and then it turns into something. It's one of those scenarios. Sometimes I'll have an idea, like I want a gazebo to be in a certain spot, or I want a pergola to be there, or I want them to have a nice outdoors kitchen or something, but for this one I didn't really know what to do, so I just had to start doing stuff. They end up having a nice outdoors kitchen and also a pool. They have this sort of isolated area that they can, a lounge area sort of, and it has a lot of plants around it, and they also have some plant pots. But I also didn't want to, I was considering for a second to put in a shed, but I didn't really see these parents as being particularly outdoorsy or plantsy or anything like that. I didn't really see them as gardeners, so I didn't see a reason to put in a shed. So I had to figure out something else to do with the space instead. And that's why I ended up turning it into a lounge area. So they have that, and then they also have a clothesline, I think, and I think that's about it actually. I had a small glitch over here. It was really weird. You'll see it in just a second. I can't place anything on top of this flooring or on top of the ceiling here. I had to move it, it was actually really annoying. I had to move it over here to the other side of the pool before I could place down these glass inserts that came with Island Living. And I always get questions about, where are those glass inserts from? How did you make the glass roofing? They're just glass inserts or floor decor or something, and they came with Island Living, so they're super handy. They look really pretty, and you can use them for a lot of things, and I like to play around with them a lot, but I was struggling with that because I don't really know. It was definitely a glitch. I had never seen anything like that before, but I'm happy that I figured out how to make it work, even though I had to move the entire ceiling to another spot. And here, this is where I'm trying to figure out what to do with this little corner over here, because I didn't want to put in a shed. So I was trying to fit in a basketball court, but the basketball court was too big. I think that one came with City Living, possibly. It was just way too big. You can fit it into mansion backyards, but not a 40 by 30 backyard like this at least. So maybe if you have a little bit more space in the backyard, you could probably fit it in there, but I couldn't, not today, not in this build. So I also don't really know which one of the Sims would appreciate the basketball court, so I decided to scrap that idea and turn it into this little lounge area instead, with a lot of plants surrounding the couches, and I think those couches are from Perfect Patio. So is the majority of the kitchen that I'm placing down in just a little bit, and the floaties are from Island Living. I'm trying to get better at mentioning where things are from because I often get a lot of questions about it. So I don't know, I'm trying to get ahead of the questions. I use these couches quite a lot though, because I feel like they look good with both traditional houses or farmhouses, but they also look really good with both modern houses and also contemporary houses. So very versatile couches when it comes to backyards or patios. And over here is the outdoors kitchen. So they have a nice big grill and also a sink, I think, just so they can clean some stuff. I did put an outdoors trash can in the front garden, so don't worry about that one. I don't know if I included it. Often when I don't include myself placing down the outdoors trash can, I'll get comments about it, but sometimes it's just because I don't feel like it's the most interesting thing to watch me put down, so I just cut it out of the video, or I don't place it down until I'm done recording. So I don't really know. I don't know what I did today, but it's in the front yard by like the entrance to the front garden actually, so pretty realistic if I may say so. Where do you guys have your trash cans, by the way? Because it's different from country to country, and I'm kind of curious, like what would be the most realistic place to put it when it comes to The Sims for you guys? Let me know. I know it's a bit of a weird thing to ask, but honestly, it's one of those things I think about quite a lot when I'm placing down the trash cans, because I often place them in the backyard, which doesn't make any sense. Like realistically, that doesn't make any sense, because how would the people that pick up the trash, I don't know what they're called in English, and I just accidentally called them trash people, and that's not right. And now I edited it in the video anyways. But how would they pick it up when it's in the backyard? They'd have to go all the way to the backyard and get the trash cans and then empty it. That doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. I think about it quite a lot when I'm placing it down. So let me know what makes sense to you guys. But yeah, that's about it for today. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it on the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. I'm looking forward to recording the video for tomorrow, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the save file as well, even though it's not completely done. But I did ask you guys if you wanted it anyways, and you said yes. So I'm hoping that some of you guys are excited for it. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end up calling my own. We ride around in style, sleeves rolled up, glasses on. And then you make that smile and my heart starts racing when I'm with you. I'm with you. Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never-ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. How could I ever let you go now when you're looking like that? Can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never-ending sunshine. Your high heels on, and I'm wearing my worn out jeans. What could go wrong? Sipping on a beer, sing along to our favorite songs. All I want is you. You make my world spin round and round. Sometimes I don't know what to do, 'cause my heart starts racing when I'm with you.